Hello, hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Scorpio. And go ahead, tune in if there's something you want to have answered today. Just pay attention to that, notice it, make some requests. And I also have some very exciting news, which is that I'm now offering personal video readings just like this with all the oracle cards, all the bells and whistles. And so you are welcome to check that out on my website. And then the other thing is that I do have the 2019 love and relationship readings out now. The link's in the description box as well. And those are all on Patreon, so I have a few different options there as far as the tiers go, but I put a ton of work into those love readings. So I hope you guys enjoy those for whoever decides to join me there. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing coming up for Scorpio is, for today, I express myself. And this, okay. For the record, I'm a Scorpio rising, so I relate to this 100%. I understand how challenging this can be as far as expressing yourself and kind of outing yourself. It really is something that you have to take risks with in order to collect data that basically shows you that you're not going to get hurt every time you become vulnerable. And while Scorpios are really good at going 20,000 feet deep, it can be a challenge to be expressive in a lot of contexts. And so this is the year of self-expression for sure. This is the year to really be forthright about what you want and see what happens. It is going to be a good time to be vulnerable as well. Let's see what the animal card is for you. Dolphin. So I'm getting play. That was the word that came up as soon as I saw this card. Make sure that you're making plenty of time for pleasure and fun, friends, enjoyment. That is the secret sauce for you in 2019. Having fun, doing things that are pleasure-based is going to take a load off for you. Now, it doesn't mean you can avoid tasks that are mundane and it doesn't mean you should let go of your responsibilities. But this absolutely means that when you infuse fun into the picture, it's going to make things a lot easier for you. The botanical card for you in 2019 is resourcefulness. You have access to so many more resources than I think you realize are possible. Push yourself when it comes to manifestation. Don't forget, I know I mention this a lot, there are 3 forms of manifestation: thought, word, and deed. So action or deed is what has the most potency and the most intensity. So that's the densest of the 3. So it's about action, but remember, there's no resource that's out of reach for you. It's all within reach, but it's going to take effort, it's going to take belief, it's going to take commitment. Then the angel card for you is play. I was dead on with this card. How can it be more clear? Having fun and enjoying yourself is the name of the game in 2019. Really learn to lighten up however you can. And play is personal. It doesn't mean you have to go outside and have fun with people necessarily. If you're more of a homebody, then it might be something like coloring books or cooking or just indulging in spending a little bit more time doing a hobby or something like that can also be play. So don't limit yourself to what other people's definition of play is. It's very, very personal. Now, the central energy for you in 2019 is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about the space where miracles exist. But you have to be really careful with this card because if you walk into a situation with an exclusively negative expectation, it's going to make it really hard for you to be a magnet for the things that you want and need. If you go in saying, oh yeah, this, and this negative thing are going to happen as soon as I walk in, then a lot of the time you will behave in a way that's going to evoke that response. And a lot of that is subconscious, just so you know. It's not intentional, but you just have to be really careful with what energy you're bringing into the situation and how you're responding first. Show up in a way that's in alignment with your best expectation and see what happens then. You can't walk into a situation expecting the worst and behaving as if the worst is already going to happen and expect good results. So use this to your advantage. This is saying there's a lot of good stuff right outside of your comfort zone. There's a lot of good stuff right outside of what you can't see. And this is pushing you to really take control over the way you're showing up in environments. And then you can see what happens as a result. Now, this is a mind, body, spirit reading. So I'm going to start with mind. Judgment. I'm going to clarify this one, because it's all about final decisions, but there's way more information in this card. And then we have the Seven of Swords. When you have made a decision about something that hasn't worked for you, commit to it. Say, okay, that didn't work. I need to try a new strategy. You cannot expect different results for your current circumstances if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's simply not going to work out in your favor. So this is really great, because the gift in all of this is the fact that you can enter a situation with an energy you've never tried and use it as a laboratory to see, do you have power over your environment in some capacity? It's not just about, you being the receiver of the way other people are. It's also in your response, it's in your approach, it's in so many other things. So give these things a chance. Give yourself a chance to do something different. And then go from there and see what happens. Just give it the benefit of the doubt. Now, your physical well-being, the Hanged Man, probably, I consider this a really good card to have in this position if things are going well for you. So it's like, or maybe you're working on fixing something in your physical well-being or in your overall health. Like if you're healing from something, or if you're integrating healthy habits, it looks like that's going to be continuing over 2019. Now, if you're not in good shape, good condition physically, and your physical well-being is suffering, then that means if you don't take any intervention, then things are going to persist. So this can be a negative card in the sense that if you're dealing with something and you don't make changes, then that's going to continue. But if you are willing to make positive changes in this area and do things that are going to help you, that's where you get the most benefit. So take that with you, apply it to your circumstances however it makes sense, and take good care of yourself. Listen, I feel very passionately about health. And so it's like you get one body. Are you going to treat it like dirt and communicate that it's not important? Or are you going to take care of yourself? You get one. Take good care of yourself. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's move on to spirit. And we have the Director. Oh man, Scorpio, you have so much power. I don't know how to get you guys to believe this. You really do have so much authority over how your year is going to go. And everything about this reading is saying, look, you need to take ownership and responsibility for how this year goes. And you need to take responsibility for your role in interactions and relationships and situations, and you're going to see so much improve. If you are taking full responsibility, then you're going to see so many things clear up. Remember your power. Start, one of the best things that I recommend for people in their manifestation practice, don't ask for things that you want. Tell the universe, this is what I'm calling in. Have a sense of authority over what you're creating. There's no one upstairs pulling the strings. Don't forget that. This is all your creation, so use it to your benefit. And even through hardships, remember how big the world is and how many solutions there are, and the things you're giving energy to will expand for the good and bad. So let yourself take responsibility for this and start putting it into things that you really want to see grow, expand, and change. And that's where you're going to get the best results. So take control. Okay, now we're getting into advice for you. The Star. Trust a little bit. A little bit. I'm not saying that you have to just let go and let God. You know, I don't like that approach at all. That's very laissez-faire, and it's not really my style personally. This is about giving a smidge. You want to take responsibility, and then anything not in your power, you can turn over, you can set aside, you can say, all right, you take care of it, because I don't know how this is going to play out. I'm just going to do my best. All you can do is do your best. Show up as the best and highest version of yourself and watch things unfold. But remember that the trust piece here is going to lift a weight for you. It's going to make this such an easy year in terms of what you're able to overcome, what you're moving through. Any type of turbulence suddenly has less resistance when you're more comfortable trusting piece by piece. Maybe you can make an agreement with yourself, something to the effect of, I'm not going to stress myself out until blah, blah, blah. Maybe set a time frame for yourself. Things like that are really going to help. So let's see what one thing you need to know about 2019 is. Ace of Cups, boom. This is an awesome card if you are looking for a relationship. I'm going to clarify this one. But this also has to do with self-care, honoring your feelings, taking good care of yourself in all ways. Let's see what else is coming up here. Seven of Pentacles. This is going to be a bit of a blend for you. So in some ways, it probably has something to do with the relationships in your life. But be careful of how you're showing up. Okay? That's a big condition here. You can access just an abundance of love and healing and self-care as long as you are showing up the right way. So banish the negative Nancy from your psyche. And the Seven of Pentacles is showing that this care is going to be expanded into a bunch of different areas. So maybe you're investing more in yourself. You're taking better care of yourself. You're prioritizing yourself. You are investing in the relationships that you have around you. You are thinking about things in the sense that what you do now is going to set yourself up for success in the future. So it seems that this Ace of Cups energy is going to be scattered throughout your life. It's not just about new love or self-care. It really is about this overarching theme of the Ace of Cups being able to bleed into all these areas of your life. So I really like this. You have the power, you have the control, so take it back for yourself. It's very important that in 2019, you try to step away from any victim stories, because victim stories will perpetuate victim circumstances. And in some regard, you could say that everyone on the planet has been victimized in some way, shape, or form. And so it's kind of like try to move that out and write a new story for yourself. You have to do that so that you feel more empowered and you can make the most of your life. All right, now we're getting into the timeline. If you're new to my channel, first of all, hello and welcome. And we're going to start with the first quarter. So this is January through March of 2019. Second, third, and fourth quarter, they're about 3 months each. So first thing coming up for you is the Ten of Swords. This is where you're able to rewrite all of those stories. I'm reading this as it's not heartbreak or devastation or anything like that. This is what I was talking about here with sweeping away all of the powerlessness over yourself or the victim stories. Anything like that is getting cleaned out. This is where you're reclaiming your power, but remember that you have to release some of the stories that you've been telling yourself. And look, I want to be clear, this is a practice. This is something that you have to consciously catch yourself. When you start saying, this always happens to me, every time I get into this situation, blah, blah, blah happens. Listen to how powerful those statements are, because what you're going to find is they will be perpetuating the more you say them. The more you identify with those as being your truth, the harder you're going to make life on yourself. So just allow yourself to be like, okay, that was the story. That was the story that I was telling myself. Now the story is whatever you want it to be. You're the director. You're in charge here. You're writing the script. So make it something that works for you rather than harms you. Second quarter, we have the Devil. This is where you do have to challenge yourself. You know, you've done all this work to release what needed to be released. But remember that there are times when they creep back up. Healing is not linear. Don't set the expectation that you're a robot and you can just deprogram yourself like a light switch or an on-off button. That's not how it works. Sometimes old vices pop up again, or they, try to make an appearance, or they, those nagging negative thoughts try to come back. And the thing is, you don't have to stop them. You can acknowledge them and say, you know what? I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for being a coping skill that I no longer need. And this is the direction that I'm going to choose instead. So it's incremental. It's something that you have to challenge within yourself consistently. And I'm not going to lie, it takes a lot of work. Third quarter, we have the Three of Wands. So by the second half of the year, you're like, okay, now I'm getting serious. Now I'm not fooling around anymore. We're looking out at the horizon and we're going to see what it is that we're planting here. I think the first half of the year needs to be focused on release for you. It needs to be something where you rewrite your script. This is very, very important. This is a potent time for you to identify what beliefs are holding you back, what stories are you continuing to parrot over and over and over again, and just slowly working out of those. And it takes practice, so let yourself, it's okay if you have one bad day, it's not a big deal. It's just the consistency. Remember, it's not the one time, it's the consistent behavior, it's the consistent story. And so by the time you get here, it's going to be all planning. You kind of have that blank slate, ground zero to build on. So this looks like a fresh experience where once you purge all of this, you really have a new level playing field to build off of. I also like to mention, because I'm all about empowered, aligned action, that if you don't want to do this, you can keep living how you're living. That's totally up to you. You have free will. You can scrap this advice if you want and go rogue and do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what the potential is for you in 2019. It's up to you to take action. Now, the fourth quarter, wrapping up 2019, we have, ooh, yay! Okay, 10 of Cups. Okay, is this not clear? Is this not very obvious that you're moving from needing to release, needing to cleanse yourself, working hard to rewrite this story, and my God, does it pay off? Seriously, if this is not the happily ever after, look at you coming out of the darkness, look at you challenging yourself, growing and changing and evolving, and you're just expanding into this beautiful, bright future. Please know this is possible. I understand some of you might be skeptical, but I'm dead serious. They're cards. I'm just the messenger. So this is probably the best reading that I've seen, especially because you can start thinking about yourself as a fine wine. You know, I heard this analogy where to get the best wine, you have to starve and abuse the grapes. And I know that sounds crazy. You give them nutrient void soil, and you give the grapes a really hard, treacherous time, and that is the grape that is going to give you the best wine. So that's kind of what you have going on here. Look at all this hard work you have going on down here. You're trying and trying and trying, and then the payoff is just magic. Anyway, let's just do this 3-card pick, shall we? You are welcome to pick a card. You can pick as few or as many as you want. You can ask a question. You can ask for guidance, whatever you need. All right, card number 1. Resistance. And that's a totally appropriate card to have pop up with this reading, because I completely understand if you are having a hard time even receiving these messages or even believing that something better is possible. I get that. But remember, the more you push back, the harder it is for these things to make their way to you. So be very conscious and intentional with where you're putting your energy in terms of thought and action. Because if you're just fighting this every step of the way, please do not expect things to go well. Just don't. Put it out of your mind then. So you have to shift the way you're thinking and be open to something better, or continue the way things have been going for you. Card number 2, we have expectation. So now the way you're expecting things to unfold, it's probably not going to look exactly how you anticipate it to be. So be open to having different experiences, different options, different outcomes. Like, just be a little bit more flexible, because expectations are kind of like, you can set yourself up for disappointment. And that's really unfortunate, because something might still be going really well. It's just that you're not receiving it as such. So chill out with the expectations, focus on the desire and what you're calling in, and let everything else fall into place. Card number 3, we have family, creating family. This does not just have to do with blood relatives. This also has to do with the family that you're creating for yourself, the deep connections that you are cultivating in this lifetime. All of that is coming together. So this looks like connections are going to be really important for you in 2019. That's where you might find you get a lot of nourishment and energy, and where you want to invest more of your energy as well. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for joining me and finding out what's going on in 2019. Don't forget to play. Don't forget to take good care of yourself. You know I'm all about it. And if you want the 2019 love and romance readings, do not forget that those are available. Check out the link in the description box. for all your goodies. If you want to work with me one-on-one, don't forget I'm an intuitive counselor, so I actually do cold readings and all of that good stuff. You're welcome to book a session with me as well. And until next time, thank you so much for subscribing, liking, sharing, following me on Instagram and Facebook, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.